Merry meet and welcome everyone. I am your celestial host, Serona Rose, and this is the Astro Tarot Show. I do have a lot to talk about, and there is a little bit of movement that's happening this upcoming week. But first, before we get to all the business, Happy New Year. I offer you many blessings, and I hope this 2023 is prosperous for you. I hope that you are healthy and wealthy and wise. And I hope that you use discernment through your choices this coming up year. And I want to thank you so much for watching and for all the feedback that I get. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, the past two episodes, I have been giving a little glimpse at what 2023 will be. And as you know, I can't always put everything into these videos. So please check me out on my YouTube channel. It's Dragon Rose Creations. You can find me on Facebook under Astro Tarot with Serona Rose. I'll put a picture at the end of the video of places where you can find me on my social media. So by doing that, I do put in little extra pieces that I don't necessarily get to in this show. One of those was on New Year's Eve. Venus met up with Pluto, which is the goddess going through the underworld. This is about, this is compared to Inanna's descent. So our goddess of love and beauty is going through the underworld, and she is stripping away those things that do not really matter to her, that aren't really valuable to her anymore, that doesn't really define who she is anymore. And this is a rebirth process for Venus. So check out my video on that. That is, I do talk about that a little bit more. And so, by Monday, though, she is moving into Aquarius. So this goddess of love and beauty is resurrected. She is resurrected as the queen, and she left behind the falsehoods that were, and all of that stuff that was keeping her back from her future. As Venus moves into Aquarius, this is about the future. So I think this is really good energy as we're coming into this new year. And as far as that, I think it's a way of how we learn how to define love in our life. How do we define that? What is love, right? Also, we would go into our values, how we care for ourselves, how we nurture ourselves. We can get a little carried away, but luckily, this is a time where it is resurrected. It is a rebirth. So it's a new beginning, so to speak. Now Mercury and the Sun will also be approaching Pluto. And one thing about Pluto is what we have to realize is he is death. He's the ending. He is the finishing. Okay? And when Mercury catches up with him, this is bringing us a new understanding as well as a different communication. This will be changing our attitudes a little bit. When the Sun meets up with Pluto, that is about our solar identity. And that's going to, that is our purpose, like our purpose. So we'll go through some more of that. I want to talk a little bit. I want to give a layout of what we can expect. Now, right now the moon is it's waxing, and we will be having our full moon in Cancer on the 6th. Also, right now, Mercury is retrograde and he is in Capricorn. And he will be moving out. He will be stationing direct. I believe it's about the 12th, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. 2023 is a fast moving year. And for the Chinese zodiac, I hear we're moving into the sign of the rabbit. If you will check out the Witch's Brew magazine, there's a wonderful article that Melissa Anderson writes up every year for the Chinese New Year. So you want to check that out. On the 12th of this month, Mars will go direct. And on the 18th, that is when Mercury goes direct. We're going to be moving more into an energy of that humanitarian. And I will say that this year is, we talk about paradigm shifts, and I feel that this is going to be a year for that as well. Pluto, like I said, our Lord of the Underworld. Now, he has been in Capricorn since 2008. And this is a breakdown of our structures like governments and those places of power. This is top down. So, you know, depending on what country you live in, that would be your government, whatever that is, and top down. Now, he will move out of Capricorn and into Aquarius March of this year, 2023. And this is going to be a shift. It's going to be a shift in power, because Pluto is about power. He's the planet of power, while Capricorn is the planet of government, of that top power authority. And while he was in Capricorn, he was breaking those down. So when he moves in Aquarius, that is going to shift from those. It's going to shift the power from the top, the elite, to all the people. This Aquarius is the humanitarian. This is about people. So Pluto is power. This power is going to be moving into the sign of community, of all of the people of humanity. So this is going to be a power shift. So in doing that, I will say that this is definitely the time to start finding your tribe. Aquarius looks at the people. It says, it's about community. It's about socializing and within that community. So it is definitely time, if you have not already, to find your soul tribe, those like-minded people. So that's already been happening with the influence of Saturn. When Saturn is in Aquarius, that is giving new structure and forms to different social platforms or social settings. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, so we are seeing that shift. And again, that shift is going to come to Mars, and it's not going to be overnight. This is going to be a cycle. Remember, it's a process. So I feel this year is going to be about revelations and disclosures. One of the things that we're going to have is we're going to have 7 full moons in a row at the 16 degrees of each of those signs. And that is very interesting because the number 16 in the tarot is the Tower. And the Tower is about that breaking down of security, or what you thought was security. And before we go any further with that, I want to stop a minute because I want to show you the Tower card, and I want to show you, and I want to talk to you about what that means. Now, before I get to that, I do want to talk about when the sun, later on, the sun will conjunct Pluto before, towards the end of, towards the, around the 20, mid to, I can't remember, as mid-January, when the sun is going over to, the sun will be moving in Aquarius, the 21st of January. So in this, when the sun does conjunct Pluto, this is going to be the sun, our purpose, meeting its death. It's going to go through the underworld as well. So I can see people changing the directions of their life. This is, you're going to be about discovering your unique role in our world, in our this new energy that's shifting in. And before I go any further, I want to talk about the Tower tarot card, and I have another message in there as well. So this is a close-up of the Tower card. Let me turn it so you can see it a little bit better. You can see the lightning striking the top, knocking the crown off, the people jumping out, all of this. Well, the Tower, the esoteric name of the Tower card, is the Lord of the host of the mighty. So this shows us that we're not so in control as we thought we were, you know. Something has happened that has shaken our foundation. And now things are changing for us. You know, this card can mean, you know, because it's hitting the crown chakra. This is a change in, it's a breakdown of the old belief system, a false identity. Now the number here, the number 16, the number 16 itself is about, it's a victory over the ego. It's illumination as well as rebirth. And the number 1, let's break the number down. So the number 1 is the Magician. It represents the Magician card, which is about the self-consciousness. And the number 6 card is the Lover's card, which is about discernment and choices. And if we add 6 and 7 together, well, that's the outer expression of the victory card, right? So this is victory over the shadow side of things. So when we look at this background, we can see the sky is black, and you know, this big lightning strike is knocking off that crown. It's flying off. The king and queen are falling out and they're going on the rocks below. It is not a pretty card at all. And so this is a breaking down of existing forms, and this is going right into what Sagittarius, what Saturn was doing in Capricorn, as well as Pluto. Pluto was really wreaking havoc through the existing forms there, the top down. So this is energy moving from source to the physical, okay? This card also, you know, it is hitting our crown, so this is our crown chakra, right? So we see there here that we have been living, obviously, in an imbalanced way, and we are having an unexpected awakening to change. that is tearing down the what is unstable, the unstable past, and it is time to rebuild on a stronger foundation. So, this card is related to having a spiritual awakening. And it is a time of transformation due to a destructive event that helped wake us up. And this is really what's been going on since 2020. It's an event that has woke us up. Our core beliefs challenged, who you thought you were, that sort of thing. So it's 16 degrees is very important because when it's in Cancer, it's going to be it's the Cancer and Capricorn threshold there. That is looking at security. That is looking at security in both levels. So this is tearing down of old structures that no longer are useful in rebuilding and restoring, taking it to a better place. But no worries, because guess what? After that, card number 17 is the Star card. And this is the daughter of the firmament, the dweller between the waters. This card represents Aquarius and Uranus. This is the 11th house of society. So this is really good. This is, the star is unveiling, and it's bringing us a new discovery of the greater cosmos. So as we are having this breakdown of what we thought was a safe and secure structure, we are now, our eyes are opened to a whole different world. So here we can have the mind and body integration. We can, as well as the soul, right? The mind, the heart, the body, all of that. This is the true self. This is about unveiling the true self in this life. The Tower is the rebirth process. And from this rebirth that's happening, this is what is born. And, we're naked, we're pure. We're in a pure state. So this is really good. The Star card brings us out of the darkness and into the light. So this is really good. I wanted to do this because I thought maybe if I showed it this way, we could see it better. But this is really showing us what is happening astrologically as well. So when the moon moves into Aquarius, that changes that energy as well. And Aquarius is about plugging into the community. Remember, humanitarian. And when we look at the symbol for Aquarius, the little squiggly lines, well, that's energy. It also looks like water, but it's energy. And it's energy, it's frequency, sound. And, I feel that more as this energy is unfolding, I can see that this is wanting to, and as we go into the energy of the age of Aquarius, there could hopefully be a joining of science and medicine together and bring that back together, that which was lost many years ago. Now, I want to touch on free will just a second, because free will, we do have free will, but what does that mean? Sure, it doesn't exactly mean that it just means that you have the right to do whatever you want to do. Free will, you can choose it. It is about choosing, yes, but it is about choosing your intent. Which way are you going to go? It's not about just having the freedom to do whatever you want to do. It's about what is will. When you will something, you are intending it. And when we say these words, a lot of people like to use these words because they're catchphrases and they're little little catchwords and clickbait sort of thing. But these words mean something. Look these words up. Will. Will is intend. So you have this freedom to intend. You have that power to push your energy into where you want it to go. Now, our outer planets are changing signs this year. So again, that's new energy. So from 2023 to 2026, all the outer planets will be shifting into new signs. And Pluto will cross over from Capricorn to Aquarius, but he will go back, and then he will eventually be back in Aquarius in 2024. So for some of the planets, you'll have to go back almost 300 years to see what happened, to see which return they are celebrating. So that is all the outer planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And you can look it up. Please feel free to do your own research and look up these 300 years ago, what was going on, what was the main news. So yeah, this is transition, this is change. And I will add that while Uranus and the North Node is still in the sign of Taurus, we're going to still see stuff regarding our Earth. We're going to see financial disruptions, things such as that. And our South Node is in Scorpio, and the Scorpio is about what's hidden. And since the South Node is in our past, we're leaving that behind. Now, the South Node will be in Scorpio until July of this year, and then we'll move into Libra. Now, Saturn in Pisces, when Saturn moves into Pisces, and around this time, that is going to change as well, because Saturn is the old ways, and Pisces is illusion. It's the Hollywood. So we're really going to have to, I can see possibly more things, more revealings, more coming out that these top-down agencies have done, things that are coming into light. But, you know, we're going to have choices, but we have to use discernment. Discernment is so important. Now, Jupiter is all about expansion, and he is in Aries. And he will be in Aries until May of 2023. And again, he's expansion. This could also touch on some military expansion. I don't think that's a negative thing, but it can push war. So we have to be careful with that. But this can, Aries, when Jupiter is visiting Aries, you know, Aries is I am. And we can see this energy of self-empowerment. This is really good with Jupiter visiting this warrior, is giving him that energy that, yes, you can do this. Yes, you know, it's a strong sense of self, and it's standing up tall for who you are. This is also, you know, about stepping into your sovereignty and stepping into who you are and what you want. Now, sovereignty, I want to explain what that is. I know someone asked me before, what is sovereignty? Well, I use the definition. Sovereignty is a word that, you know, I don't like to take words and make them my own. Well, not too much. Some of them I do, but not too much. But sovereignty simply means a supreme power or authority over the self. This is about self-governing. And this is, in Jupiter in Aries, is really highlighting that. It's about self-governing. This is you. This is your sovereign body. And you are the one who says what goes on with it, what doesn't go on with it, and so forth. So as he is there, he is urging Aries, he's urging this warrior to live from his core. And how can you give that back? How can you give that back to others? How can you share that? And when he moves into Taurus, that will be grounding that creation, how you're going to be given back, so forth. And soon after, the North Node is going to be moving, right after Jupiter moves into Taurus. The North Node is going to be moving into Aries. So this is really good energy, and this is going to be really planting that intention. So when I talk about free will, you are willing. What are you going to will? What are you going to create? Saturn moves out of Aquarius into Pisces. That is bringing the dream down to earth. So all of this is in a process. Like I said, astrology is cycles, and it's showing us a process that it's happening. It's giving us this energy, and it's up to us to take advantage of this. So he will be there in Pisces into 2025. And when Saturn is in Aquarius, this is a push and pull of the new ways, the old ways, the new ways, the old ways. And, we're seeing that. We're seeing how that's going down. So, that's going to be coming to a close. That is going to be coming to a close because we're going, and when he moves into Pisces, it's going to be a disillusionment. And we have to be careful too, because we can also question what is our reality. Saturn is our reality check too, and Pisces is that. It's Hollywood. Pisces is Hollywood. It's the dream. It's the illusion. So you can see how it's going to be very important that we really listen to Jupiter and stand strong from our core. When Venus, our goddess of love, when she is going through Pluto, not only is she releasing what's holding her back from the future, but she's redefining how she loves herself and how she loves others. I feel like it's a coming home to earth almost. So another important aspect that I want to point out is the sun is going to be squaring Chiron. Now, this is going to take us back to the beginning of April, about 9 months ago, and that's when the sun was conjunct Chiron. So that set into motion a new cycle. And in that, when the sun moves when the sun squares Chiron, that is going to be a breaking out. This can also be crisis as well. And it's going into healing the masculine, healing the wounded masculine. And it's learning to become the authority of our own life. Again, we're going to hit on sovereignty. And with these choices, discernment, we have to use discernment. We have to really be careful at what's happening. It is a time to stand up for ourselves and stand up against all the BS. That's what this is about. I'm really feeling boundaries that's coming into this. So, this is healing. This is healing. The sun squared Chiron is healing the hero. And we are, this is the journey of the hero's journey, the major arcana of the tarot. And this is healing that sacred masculine within. All inside of us, we all contain that masculine and feminine energies, and it's about healing those energies within. Remember, everything starts with ourselves. We have to fix this before we can fix out there. Our environment is a reflection of the inner. So, yeah. So let's get on to this full moon in Cancer. On the 6th of January of 2023, the moon will be full in the sign of Cancer at 6:08 p.m. and that's Eastern time. Now this is called the wolf moon, and this moon will be opposing the sun just like every full moon. The moon opposes the sun, and the sun is in Capricorn. So Capricorn is ruling this energy, and Capricorn is about the corporations, it's about religions and authority. And Cancer, well, Cancer is about the home, and it's about the family and love, mother, nurturing that. So this full moon axis we're having is going to be down to the nitty gritty is security. So you see where that Tower card comes into play at 16 degrees. So we are looking at security, not only physical and financial, as well as emotional, and within our relationships, within ourselves. This is also connecting us to the past, to our inner child. This can be this full moon. A full moon shines its light on the shadows. So this could be also a wound that is, something triggers you and you're having to deal with a wound. Your triggers are yours. And these, when you are triggered, this is a way of saying, hey, this is something we need to work on within. So this is really going into that emotional security, financial security, that physical, emotional connection to a family. And I want to talk a little bit about security before we go any further. Security is one of those tricky words because in actuality, that's kind of, that gives us a fault. When we say the word security, that's almost like a false, it is falsehood, so to speak. Because in our world, change is our only constant. It is constantly changing, evolving. Energy does not stagnate. It expands. It grows. So we have to, while Venus, went through her death, went through the 7 gates, okay, and was resurrected. A lot of us look outside of ourselves for security, such as in the car, the nice house, the rings, the clothes. All of that stuff is security, but it's not. It's false. That is a part of that illusion. And here, love is not something, this security is not what we look outside of ourselves. It's what we find within. But security itself is an illusion. Security from the outside is false. It's here. It's within us. And, we all want to be safe, to be secure, to live in harmony, but all of that comes from within. If you're not harmonious within yourself, then you're not going to have that in your world. And people can see, people can see. Mercury retrograde this is really going, this is really adding, aiding that energy of reflection. It is reflecting on those things that we have done, but we're looking at it through not oh wow, but we're looking at it through mature eyes. We're seeing a few things differently, perspective. Okay, we want to see the bigger picture. We're looking at every choice we've made. We're looking down deep, trying to define it, and we are seeing who and what we loved, and looking at that. So this is that time. This is and in Mercury retrograde, he's going to be at 17 degrees of Capricorn. And remember, the 17th card is the star. So, we are really wanting to look at that long term. We are really wanting to fix that, finalize all that, and just move on. By the 11th, the sun will be at 11 degrees Capricorn. So he's catching up to that. And, so Pluto, he's catching up to this energy of the full moon. So, and when he does catch up to this, we're really looking at, again, defining security. So Venus is about relationships, and when she moves out of Capricorn into Aquarius, and we're learning that love is not about sacrifice. This is another thing that's happening. When she was in Capricorn, she went to the underworld with an idea of love and relationships and money and things like that. But when she comes out, she's seeing things in a very different way. So she's saying, I do not have to sacrifice myself in order to have love in my life. If people truly love me, they will support me from where I stand. Because this full moon is showing her that security is within her. People, you can do your best, try to make everybody happy, and you will maybe succeed in making one. And people, if people are unhappy, they're just going to be unhappy. That's it. You need to stand up within yourself and your core, and you got to use discernment and what is of value and morally right to you. Sacrifice and martyrdom, as we are moving out of the age of Pisces and into Aquarius, that sacrifice and martyrdom is gone. There's no need for that anymore. We should not have to sacrifice ourselves for love, sacrifice ourselves for happiness. In Capricorn, Venus was all about the practicality. It's about what is practical. But as she redefined her definition of love and beauty and so forth, she is bringing about the healed, energetic love. And then when the sun is squaring Chiron, this is also going to connect us to the masculinity as well, because we can all, as women, talk about femininity and women's rights, but in actuality, the masculine has been harmed as well. That's a double-edged sword. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in Aries, he is healing himself of I am. This is about, he is helping this warrior discover that that he can't look at the older ways in order to heal. He has to look at newer ways, more inventive ways. It's not the same as take a pill and call me in the morning. That's a band-aid. It's about going down and healing the core of the wound. It's healing the wound itself, not the symptoms, but the wound. So that's why I say I do see changes in medicine. I see that, you know, more of this moon, and with sun, the sun square Chiron, this is about taking responsibility for ourselves and learning that sacrificing who we are um, is nothing more than adding more wounds to, is just trauma, is adding trauma to ourselves. So until we are able to fully love ourselves, we can't love others. And this is about setting boundaries, setting those healthy boundaries. My rights begin, you know, your rights end where my rights begin, and so forth. So Capricorn is going to be ruling this energy, and especially from the Capricorn winter solstice we had, it's showing us um, how we can live a balanced, healthier life, and one closer to the earth. Um, it's teaching us not to, this energy that we're going through, it's teaching us not to be so attached into the outcome of things, and be attached to things outside of ourselves and depend on them so much that we lose our own identity and lose who we are. We have to come back to self. Security is within, healing is within. We have to fix what is within in order to help the outside. So yeah, that is really it for the astrology. This is very strong energy. I'm feeling, you know, one of the things is I want to highlight on is, you know, love also, it tells us where to set boundaries. When you are loving yourself, not in this selfish, egotistical way, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about loving and caring for your vessel, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, all of this. All of this. Love tells us where we need to place boundaries. And it also shows us where and what needs our attention. So, in saying that, please stay tuned for the tarot. I'm pretty sure that is just going to be as impactful as this full moon. Again, this is about security, and security is within the self. So stay tuned for the tarot part of the show.